Hello, my name is Curtis Duffy, and today we're going to be preparing a classic risotto Milanese. Beautiful thing about risotto is it's one of those moments where it takes a lot of time and detail and efficiency on the stove, so you get to practice a lot of your skills. I personally like to use shallots because of its pungency and lack of very light onion flavor, if you will. So we start by just peeling the skin off gently. What I like to do for the garlic is cut the root end off and then just gently smash it. That should extract just the bulb. So I'm gonna do that with each one of these. So we're gonna start with the shallot first. Just like a basic onion cut. Take your time. For little preparations like this, I like to use a small utility knife. I go back and re-smash the garlic. Makes it a little bit easier to get to that fine mince that we're looking for. Now with this step, you can go as fine or as thick as you want in terms of like size. Some people like big chunks of garlic. I particularly don't like to chew on those, but that is the beauty of cuisine. It's kind of really up to you what you want to do with it. So once we have our mise en place ready, we've got our shallots that we cut up earlier. We have our garlic that's minced. We're going to start the process of the risotto. So what I like to do is start with the olive oil. We are going to add about 4 to 6 tablespoons of olive oil and a few tablespoons of whole butter. We're going to let the butter melt. Stir it around. With this process, we don't want to let the butter brown, so we're going to continue to move it around so it almost emulsifies with the olive oil. Once the butter is completely melted, we're going to add the shallots first. Now this process, we don't want to let the shallots brown at all, so we're going to turn down the heat and just slowly let them melt and sweat, if you will, by continually stirring them. Keeping them moving so they don't stick in the bottom of the pan. Really focus on watching the amount of action that's going on in the pan and knowing when to turn the heat higher or lower. And you can also do that by listening to the sound of what you're cooking. So you can hear the shallots are a really high crackle, which means there's still a lot of moisture in there. And when we add the rice, it's going to be kind of the same process. So we're now going to add the garlic. And the garlic is only going to take a few minutes to slowly sweat down as well, become translucent. And the beauty about cooking risotto is kind of like a meditation moment. You got to be very patient with it. You got to be very into it. It's a lot of details that go into making this proper. So now becomes the next step where we're going to take the rice. This can be a borio rice, this can be the carmelini rice. I particularly like to use the carmelini rice because it's considered like the king of the rices. It has a higher starch content than a borio rice, which in the end result becomes a lot more creamier in the end. So a very important step here is to vigorously stir so you can coat each rice with this fat. You're going to start the toasting process. You're going to start toasting that starch that's on the outside of this rice. Again, this is the moment where you're listening, you're hearing, you're smelling, you're trying to put all your senses into what's going on in the pot here. You're going to be able to start to smell that toasty rice. You're going to be able to hear it start to sizzle a little bit higher. This process should take about 3 to 4 minutes. Now you're not looking to color the rice, you're just looking for that toasty smell. So what I like to do is at this point is to ensure that all of the rice is off the edges. We do that by using a spatula. And then we're going to add our wine. And I like to let that sit for a moment before I start stirring it. This moment we're going to turn down the heat a little bit and then we're going to slowly stir. It's not a vigorously stirring, we're just gently folding. And we're going to cook this to the point of where the entire wine is absorbed, and then we're going to start looking for the smell of alcohol to dissipate. Once that happens, then we're going to start the process of adding our stock. You can smell. Alcohol's cooked out. Now we're just gonna add a little bit of stock each time, enough to cover the rice. And slowly stir. At this point, we're gonna lower the heat so it cooks about a medium heat. We don't want it rapidly boiling, but we don't want it just sitting there and it's in the stock as well. So we're gonna continue this process of adding the stock, and it's a great indication when you start, you'll see when I add the next ladle of stock that it kind of flattens out and becomes almost soup-like. But a good indication is when to start to add more stock would be when it starts to hold its shape. A little bit more stock, and this process is going to continue until it's al dente, anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how much rice you're cooking at the time. Also at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of salt, but not to the point where it becomes like the seasoned final product, because we know we're going to add cheese to it, which has a lot of salt to it as well. But I'm a firm believer in seasoning things throughout the cooking process. So we're at a place right now, we're at the end of the risotto process. We're going to add the last bit of stock. The rice is completely cooked. You want to have some al dente feeling, which you have a little bit of twosome to it, but you don't want to feel a hard kernel in the middle of it. So we have the finished risotto here, and again, the possibilities are limitless. What we're going to do today is we're going to fold in some fresh basil, which have been already picked and washed. I like to cut basil up at the very last moment, well, especially any herbs at the very last moment. They really release their volatile oils, so we roll these within themselves, and then we just do a really fine shave on them. These will be folded in at the last moment. We have some beautiful Parmigiano Reggiano, which we will grate at the last moment. Kind of just fold this in gently. And this cheese could be anything. It could be Asiago, could be a sharp cheddar that you like, really whatever you'd like to eat. Gently fold this in. So for the risotto, the way I like it, shouldn't stand on itself. It should be very creamy. It should kind of lay in the bottom of the bowl. So at this moment, you could do a lot of different things, right? We could add a little bit more cheese to top it off with. Add a few more herbs to it. So here we have the finished risotto. This is kind of my take on it. And again, the versatility of risotto is a beautiful thing. It could be added a lot of vegetables like I spoke of earlier. You can kind of fold them in. Herbs, a lot of different herbs out there that you can use. Really, it's up to you to kind of experiment and to really understand the cooking technique and really try to focus on kind of the steps that I kind of laid out in terms of the process and really trying to hone and mastering those skills. Hope you enjoyed.